Okay. Well, welcome to In the Front Row, where you get the best views in sports. I'm here with some special people, but I would like to introduce my co-host right now, Eric Townsend, the site expert for Zona Zealots and an avid NCAA basketball fan and writer. Welcome, Eric.
Hello, thank you. Yes.
We're here with a basketball phenom. I'm so excited. He's currently in recruiting. His name is Adante Holiman, and his dad and coach, Will Holiman. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Oh gosh, we're so excited to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's get your weight and your height right, because usually with rivals and all those places, they have old measurements, and I always find that you guys grow really fast.
Right now I'm about like 5'10" and then like 160.
Okay, well that's different than what's up there. So you're growing like weed, huh?
A little bit, trying to.
And you play point guard?
Yep.
Tell me about your high school.
I go to McAlester High School. It's in McAlester, Oklahoma. It's a small town, but we play basketball here, so I mean it's okay.
5A school though. We only go to 6A in Oklahoma.
And then tell me, do you played AAU ball as well?
Yeah, I play AAU ball with Next Page Force. They're on the Adidas circuit.
How fun is that? Do you have a special shoe you like?
For Adidas, nah, not right now. I got to get me one for the summer though.
Okay. Are you a Nike guy most of the time?
Yeah, Nike and Jordan I've been wearing my whole life, but I got to get used to the Adidas thing.
Yeah, you never know what school you end up at might be an Adidas school. I remember Jalen Hill out of UCLA. He's a Nike guy, and then they went Under Armour. And I remember interviewing him. I said, Jalen, what are you going to do? You're going to Under Armour now. And he was like, oh shit, I don't want to go to.
Hey, at least they're going to Jordan Brand now, so he'll kind of get his wish again.
That's true.
Good deal right there. Can't never go wrong with that.
Okay, and you have a nickname. Tell us a little bit about your nickname.
It was actually like during grade school, I didn't like write my name all the way, so I just started putting Tay. So I just put Tay on my papers, and that's how it came about.
I like that. And how's the recruiting been going? You're in the thick of it. You're one of those people that everybody is interested to see, but we're sitting here in COVID, so it's a little different.
Yeah, it's been a little weird, but it's been good for me. I feel like, most people take the recruiting process as like stressful and stuff, but I see it as a blessing, and I like when coaches reach out.
So the next question would be Eric's question.
Yeah.
Who's reaching out?
Biggest thing that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, my question is, what's kind of been the biggest adjustment, from kind of a personal standpoint in terms of, of course, COVID impacting the game and maybe kind of the preparation and how it's played or where it's played and things like that. But, how has that impacted your recruiting, if any?
It has, because, we can't go on visits. And, a big thing is colleges can't come watch us play. So, that was holding stuff back for a little while, but, it started to pick up more because that just got through out the window for a while.
Gotcha.
Well, as Adante, as Tay's father and coach, how have you adopted to this to help your son get the exposure that he needs?
Well, it's something I've been doing for kids since I was 24 years old, before he was even born. So, I've been coaching since I was a young man. I'm 41 now. Just had a birthday this past Friday. And so that's one thing. Well, thank you guys. That's one thing that's been an advantage for him. Like me and his mom got a joke, kind of, he comes in the room, kind of looks at me sometime and then walks out to see if he check his messages. Mom's like, what is he doing? I said, he's coming to check his messages because he knows I interact and talk to a lot of college coaches. And I mean, I built a relationship with a lot of them. And then like guys like Bill Self, they recruited me in high school myself. So, I mean, they're not that, we haven't actually talked to Kansas all the way yet. We talked to a couple of sisters, low key, but it's just one of them deals, having an advantage of having somebody that knows a lot of coaches. And I've had a lot of practice to help him put a lot of kids in school. And it's just pretty easy to do when it's your own. And he makes it a lot easier. When you're having 39 and 41 point performances and people know that you'll share the ball and you're not a ball hog and stuff like that. and that you're getting them on efficient shooting, and not just because you're the coach's kid and you got the ball in your hands all the time. That's one thing that's really helping him.
And so I would say, Tay, what about your game you feel is special and sets you apart from other point guards?
I feel like I can score the ball more than the other point guards can. And I can, really shoot it.
From deep.
You train a certain way, or do you play any other sports you think that helps you get the edge?
No, I only play basketball. I played t-ball when I was little, but I won't count that. But
I think one of the advantages Tay's always had is having access to that training facility his whole life. Like, he had his own gym key to, like during COVID, everybody couldn't get in the gym. He had his own gym. So
I love it.
It was just like, and it was like 50 yards from his house. So
does he have guns and six-pack?
Huh?
Does he have guns and a six-pack?
Yeah, he working on the six-pack, but he got some muscles. Well, what I mean by gym is he got his own basketball training facility.
Oh, I see. So he can.
Yeah, so he had access to a training facility the whole time, which was his own training facility, which was right around the corner from our house at the time. So I had to close it due to COVID, but we had it the whole time. He's had it his whole life since second grade, and I feel like that's what's really been an advantage for him.
That's fantastic. Do you bring your friends in there with you?
Yeah, we used to play pickup games sometimes when I get everybody together.
And you always win, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
I thought so. Tell me about your family. I met your mom. You have a brother too?
Yeah, I got a little brother, and he's a freshman.
Oh, he's a freshman.
Yeah.
And so is he trying to outbeat you? Do you play against him?
He'll probably be better than me, so I don't know. He might.
So he keeps pushing you then.
Yeah.
Eric, did you have anything?
Off the record, how many times has he beaten you?
I don't think he's won one yet. Unless I'd have been in heard about it.
Okay, that is more of an impromptu.
He do play him hard though.
I can't let him beat me.
If I can master how to get everybody to kind of like water boy in a basketball game to look like his brother for him, so he'd get on him like he guards his brother in those one-on-one games, we'd be good to go.
All right.
That's what the younger
this
brother
question is. Oh, sorry, Shereen. I was going to say this question's for Adante. So, what are, I know you kind of touched on this, but what are some of the biggest areas of your game you feel you excel at the most? And, maybe what are some areas that you feel you can still improve upon or, looking to improve upon now?
Right now, I feel like the strongest part of my game is scoring the basketball. And then some things I really need to work on is like the physical aspect of the game, getting stronger, and, staying in the weight room so I can, handle bigger people and guard bigger positions and stuff like that.
Okay.
Do you ever take on older people and play up?
Yeah, I've been playing up for a while now. So, I've been playing up since like second grade. So I always played against older people. So it's really not much.
And he kind of had like a little OJ Mayo deal. He started in seventh grade playing against 10th, 11th, and 12th graders because we were at the private school before I came over to McAlester. So he's been playing high school balls in seventh grade. So really, he's like a college sophomore, as far as playing wise go, but a junior on paper.
And you're figured out how to get the ball over a screen of a 7-footer yet?
Yeah. I played against some tall people. Learn how to get that ball high off the glass.
And he actually watched us coach coach against Taco when he was young.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
Yeah, we played against Taco. Taylor was like probably like maybe fourth grade, fifth grade. We played Taco down in Houston with the team I was with, Dallas Running Shooting. Taco was just now starting. I mean, we were beating him the whole game, and it's like he decided to play, and he started tiptoe dunking everything.
Yeah, I saw him at Summer League. Every time he stepped on the court.
Man, he's so big, man. He's so big.
But he's so big that he can't move fast. Like,
yeah,
the ball, and you're like, oh, my gosh, I can get around him real easily.
Yeah, he's never really moved fast like that. He's always just kind of been at his own pace, man. Like.
I always say, if he just jumped, he would get another 4 or 5 inches.
Exactly.
All you have to do is swat the ball. But I think so. Having a father as a coach, what do you think that gives you an edge? How is that? Is it good because he feels? Is it beneficial because he can tell you like it is because he cares so much about you? I mean, how does that? How's your dynamic?
I mean, I feel like other coaches, when they coach me, they just tell me stuff, just tell me. But he tells me the stuff like that I can really learn from. And, he's not telling me be a better basketball player, but to be a better man also, like learn life things too.
That's great. So what are you looking at for college? Like what is what's in your list? What are your top couple things inside basketball and outside basketball? Like what
I want a coach that's gonna push me and like let me know that I'm lucky to be there. Because there's a lot of kids that want scholarships and want to be in D1 programs or just college, anything. But the coach is gonna let me know that I'm lucky, and just to push me, not only make me a better basketball player, but a better man also.
Are you okay with a coach getting in your face and yelling really loud?
Yeah, it's happened my whole life, so I mean,
yeah, he don't get no favors being a coach's kid, that's for sure.
If anything, it's worse, right?
Yeah. Hey, well, this kind of prepares him though, man. You play the point guard, you play quarterback. When things ain't going right, Sean Miller, Boynton, all of the guys. I mean, anybody you got is gonna blame the point guard. Kind of like, it's just kind of one of the things that I've kind of prepared my kids to understand it. When you on the floor and you playing this position, that's the position you guys pick to play. So, and I really tried to get my kids to play tennis. So when they really decided they wanted to play basketball, we went all in. So we're teaching them every aspect of the game, man.
When you're watching basketball, college and the pros, since it's different, I think it's different. It's more of a team game in college.
Yeah.
Who's your dad pointing out most? Maybe it's like in the NBA, like in the last couple of years, it's like, watch what he's doing. Look what he just did. Who do you think that, your game's like him? Like who out there who's already playing, you think your game is better than or close to? Or
I feel like my game models a lot of, Trae Young, because it's a person that I look up to, and I've been studying and watching his highlights since he was in high school. So ever since then, I seen him in high school for the first time. I just followed him ever since then and tried to model my game after his.
With more defense, of course. He my guy, but Tay plays way more defense.
So I played the game, but not at your level. And the only thing I can tell you is every NBA scout, every college coach, everybody that I've ever talked to, they're looking at your defense, sharing the ball, and if you're touching the ball, and if you're going to the ball, they're not necessarily looking, just to see if you can make it in. Yeah. When you get to that level, right? At that point, everybody can make it in. Who can make it in under pressure and all that stuff. So tell me about one of the games that you played in that's had a lot of pressure and you feel like you did a really good job playing it.
We played, let me think. We played in Team Griffin at a Made Hoops tournament against Chris Livingston. We ended up losing by like 2 or 3 points, but I had like 15 points, and that's like almost 30 if it's like a high school game. But I had 15 points, against Chris Livingston. He was guarding me like maybe 4 or 5 of the possessions that I scored. And I feel like, it helped us a lot, even though we didn't come out with the W, but I feel like I stepped up, in the pressure situation that we needed.
Do you like playing under pressure?
Yeah. It makes me play better.
I love it. Do you have a motto that you live by? Is there something your dad or your other coaches or friends all live by in a motto? Like for me,
just feel like
happy people have happy lives, or be positive attitude. I coached a lot of kids in my day, and I always said, have a positive attitude. So do you have a motto or anything you live by?
Yeah, I think mine would be like a Bible verse, with God, all things are possible. And I just live by that because, without him, I wouldn't have some of the stuff that I have today.
Do you ever feel like when you're going for a dunk or you're going for a layup or something, you feel like somebody's lifting you up? Do you ever feel like that?
Man, I don't know. I feel like,
but I don't play at your level, so I'm asking you as an outsider. Like, do you ever feel like, wow, how did I do that?
I don't feel like sometimes I don't even feel like I'm that high, to be honest. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel that high when I dunk to basketball, to be honest.
Well, that means you have a lot more. Well, you're growing, right?
Yeah. My arms help me out a little bit. So, arms is kind of long, so they help me out.
That's nice. And let's see, do you have any talents outside of basketball?
I'm good at 2K, video games.
Okay. Now, I just saw, if I was not mistaken, they're going to have an NCAA version that's coming back.
Football. I don't know if basketball comes back.
They need to bring that basketball back.
I don't know if basketball, but football is coming back for sure.
So you guys are aware of all the name and likenesses stuff coming up, or I think it's this year or next season. Eric, do you know which one?
It's still to be determined. I think they said it could be in a couple of years, but it looks like it's in motion to come back finally.
We're ready, man. Tay
cool.
got his own website, AdanteHoliman.com.
Oh, everybody go check that. Check AdanteHoliman.com. We're going to make sure that we put that somewhere in the description of the video. So that's great. Well, he's so lucky to have you. You know, you have the website going, you got the coaching, the training. Is there any music you bump to that you get ready for a game or anything that gets you charged up?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with J. Cole. He's a GOAT, Maz.
Okay. Any specific song?
I say No Role Models or Love Yours.
I love that song, Love Yours. That's great. Let's see. Well, I have so many questions to ask you. Some of them are just, you know, your favorite food. Because have you had Mexican food?
No, I like
Is there
Mexican
food in Oklahoma?
Yeah, we actually have a lot of Mexican food.
You
But
do?
my favorite is Chinese though.
Oh, okay.
He get that from my mom and
Wow.
he get that from my mom and my wife's mom. They both Chinese fanatics. Food fanatics. I can't mess with it.
Can't go wrong with it.
What's your go-to?
Go-to would probably be right now because I've got so much into Chinese food. It'd probably be, you know, fried pot stickers and, you know, wontongs. But then I like teriyaki chicken too.
That's good.
And honey chicken.
How about chicken katsu on the Japanese side, the breaded chicken? You haven't tried it? No, you got to get him some Japanese katsu. It's really good. It's kind of like fried chicken, a little bit. So, in your recruitment, you've got you want to list some of your offers for us?
Yeah. I have UMKC, Akron, Western Illinois, DePaul, South Alabama, Arizona State, Tulsa, South Carolina State, Arizona, and St. Louis.
Wow. And who's pushing the hardest?
The hardest is probably South Alabama, Tulsa, Arizona, St. Louis, and Akron. And Western Illinois too.
Are you listening to the coaches and going, which one's telling me the truth? Like, what goes through your head when you're talking to a coach?
Man, like I just want them to show that they want me, and you know, most of the time when they talking to me, especially Western Illinois, trying to get me to commit almost every day he talks to me.
Well, I mean, people make it from different schools. Like we didn't know, what was that? The Shockers. We didn't know who they were. All of a sudden, that team was doing everything. I remember seeing them live. You never know if the Shockers are going to be, you know, the team. You never know. Didn't Andy?
So, Adante, I actually have a question. So with all those programs, you know, recruiting you and obviously reaching out, who are some of the programs that are standing out the most so far?
Standing out the most would probably be Tulsa, Akron, Arizona State, Arizona, and St. Louis, because, you know, Travis Ford, I've been knowing him since I was little. So, yeah, that was a big one.
Any unique tactics that coaches are pulling out with, you know, kind of the COVID world happening, and obviously you can't be on campus, but any unique, interesting, you know, recruiting pitches and tactics that they're pulling out?
Yeah, Zoom calls, and then some coaches tell me that I can come play for them right now. Like if I was to go play right now, I could go play for them and play right now.
Graduate early?
Okay.
Some people do that, especially in football. They graduate early and they go a semester.
Yeah, he got the grades. He got the grades to do that. That's why they putting that out there too. So that's kind of like, you know, what Jackson Robinson did last year from Oklahoma. Went ahead and went to Texas A&M.
Okay.
So him and Jackson are pretty good friends. So Jackson then showed him the ropes, kind of.
So I actually have a question for you, Will. So I know you've obviously been able to coach your son, which is obviously a great experience, I imagine. What are some of the biggest areas of growth and improvement you've seen in his game, you know, thus far? And what are some things that you tell him to continue to push him?
Well, one of the growth things is just the maturation and him getting older, like, you know, sitting down, watching the game, studying film. Like I got to bark at him a lot less about in-game stuff. So the maturation process of him learning the game has grown. And so his IQ has came up a little bit. And so that's one thing that's really, really helped him, man. And then, like you said, with his game, man, is one thing we're going to be working on this spring is just getting him stronger so he can take the physical abuse that 4 stars take when you play in the league we play in, and actually just getting him and then getting his jump shot and to more fluid to where he don't miss at all, and getting him to mix it up a little more to where Adante has such an arsenal of being able to score the ball, being able to help guys get better. He can distribute the ball, he blocks shots, steals. He does so much. I got to zone in on certain things at certain times. Like, he does a real good job of getting other players involved. Defensively, only thing he needs to work on a little bit more defensively is he plays great. He's aware of what's going on. He just needs to stay in the stance a little more, because little small stuff like that, so he don't overwork himself, considering the fact that I can't really pull him out of a game. So if you're in the stance a little more, you get the rest a little more there. And just pretty much just getting him to mix it up a little bit. When you got these guys that are talented, they got to know how to mix it up a little more. Like, what I mean by that is, like, come down and shoot the mid-range. Come down, shoot the floater. Come down, set the guy up this time. Come down, and just kind of rest on offense this time and let somebody, it's just learning those little things of the game, which, me being a former player and college player myself, that'll be able to help him make that adjustment. Because I just want him to be as prepared as possible for when he get on campus, man. One of his goals is to go to the league. So, it's my job to try to make it as easy as possible for each transition.
Coach, do you call the plays, or do you just let
Well, sometimes I call joystick them. It depends on how it's going sometimes, because Adante's not playing the point right now. My youngest son is, and he's a 14-year-old freshman. Adante's playing off the ball, so teams just can't trap him. So I got to kind of joystick him a little bit, because my 14-year-old son's pretty good. We'll probably be doing the same interview with him in a couple years.
Okay.
But he's still a 14-year-old, and it shows sometimes as far as when we're running the offense. So I got to kind of joystick him sometimes. But as far as when Tay gets it, I pretty much got enough faith he can call what he wants to. And it's usually just, hey, go make something happen.
There's a lot of these programs, and one in particular that I study a lot, that the coach calls a lot of plays.
Yeah, that's one thing that'll help him. Like I said, when we went to this, one thing that helped him with Team Griffin before we played with them, and one thing that's impressive at next page for us is that Adante's the type of kid, he can come in and see what your offensive scheme is. Like, you can run 3 or 4 different sets and quick hitters, and he'll know them like that. So that's going to be one thing that's going to help him on a college campus. Like, when he steps in, he can actually visualize what they're doing, see the first 5 run it, jump right in and do it right away. And coaches love that. So then that's one thing that he kind of got to his advantage. I think it's a skill, a trait he has.
That's fantastic.
So kind of for the both of you here, what do you feel like any program that obviously gets a commitment from you and gets a commitment from your son too, but what do you feel like that program would be getting? What are some of the
one, you're getting a great student, man, that's going to go to class and do what he's supposed to do because he was groomed that way. That's number one. And you'll get somebody that's going to graduate and be an asset to your program. And as far as basketball goes, that'll be the simple part. Somebody that you can count on and depend on. Put your job on the line for it pretty much.
What subject do you like the most?
Me, well, it was math, but the past 2 years I haven't missed because I don't like algebra. I didn't like geometry at all. But
yeah, it's totally different than algebra.
I guess I don't even feel like it's math, to be honest. This I don't.
Just shapes.
Well, having a high GPA gives you more options when it comes to colleges. So, do you have the Stanford type GPA?
I had a 4.1, but I got out of my my honors class, so now it's just a 4.0.
Oh, just a 4.0.
Yeah.
Only.
Anything lesser than that, moms you met don't mess around.
So, out of curiosity.
Go ahead, Eric.
Sorry, Shereen. I was going to say, out of curiosity, have you started to look at, what you'd potentially study in school? Have you thought about that, or is it still just kind of weighing your options and kind of figuring it out?
I talk about it sometimes, but other than that, I haven't really decided anything. Or even I thought about it. We just talk about it, some days.
So now is your chance to say and tell everybody, including coaches that are watching you and wanting to recruit you, what are some of your dream schools that you have or haven't got offers from? Like, what are you looking for at this point? Yeah, there's a smile.
I mean, I guess you can say I have some dream schools, but
ask for it, man. Go for it. Like, I want to go to this school. But I know you don't want to get anybody else upset.
I mean, you know, everybody wants to do Kentucky's, Kansas, you know, the Blue Bloods, obviously, you know, everybody wants those. So
We got one Blue Blood. It just happens to be on the West Coast.
Yeah, you know, I like all the Blue Bloods. You know,
You got a red.
I tried to tell them that Arizona is a blue blood. They tried to take them off the list, but they are a blue blood.
But I mean, UCLA's out there, USC, Stanford. I mean, you got the GPA for Stanford, for Penn.
And the weather is, you can't compare. The weather's, Pac-12 weather's unbelievable.
Yeah. So is you want to head out west or east is fine. It doesn't matter to you. You're just looking for the whole thing.
Hey, it don't matter. I don't care about staying close to home or none of that. I mean, I can come back and visit. Will, are you moving?
No, we just bought a compound in McAlester. We ain't going nowhere. We'll come visit.
That's good.
Yeah, that's kind of what my dad told me when I did it, man. He's like, hey, go ahead, man. Go have fun in college. Do your thing. I'll be right here on this porch when you get back. He wasn't lying.
That's what I did. I let my kids, they grew up. When they go away, they grow up.
Yeah. We don't do a lot of coddling around here, if you haven't noticed. It's frowned upon in this house, so to speak.
So
Matter of fact, I got a funny story for you guys. His grandma was at the game. My mom was at the game last week. Let's just say him and his brother wasn't playing up to her par.
Oh no!
Keep in mind, Tate finished that game with 39, but missed a couple free throws and layups that his grandma wasn't too happy about. She politely called him over there at halftime and kind of told him that they need to pick it up, so to speak. So
he has whole family helping.
Yeah, that's their grandma, man. They got a super nice one, and then they got one. My wife's mom is super nice, and then they got one that my mom is kind of a little ferocious, like, so she don't really do no baby.
You got like good cop, bad cop going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Adante, you know that when you play in college, if they're not there, you're going to be getting phone calls
or text messages during the game.
What's crazy is he's just like my mom, though. That's what's crazy. That's where he gets this ferocious attitude for on the floor. My mom was the ball player.
Oh, did your mom play too?
My mom went to the all-black school before they integrated here in McAlester called Loverture High School.
Wow.
She got most athletic, and they did boys and girls together back then.
Oh, okay.
Before they merged. And my mom was the most athletic in her class, like in 69. Like my mom, and they played 6-on-6, so they used her on both sides. She played college ball at Langston University, where she graduated from. But she's only like 4'2", and she's a pit bull, man. It's crazy.
Did she get out there and play with you?
Tell them what she did to y'all in the room the other day.
No, we got a little mini hoop in my.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, she came in there and I handed her the ball. She jumped up and dunked it. Kind of shook me because I didn't think she was like still on. I thought she was gonna lay the ball up.
Notice he said she jumped. It's on a regular door, you know.
Because she's 4'2".
Yeah, but my dad's like about 6'1", so you know I'm right in between the both of them at 5'7". So Dante's a lot bigger than me. Oh, and I had a 45-inch vertical in high school, so they kind of adopted that. So they inherited some ups, so to speak. His brothers is still coming, but his little brothers are still coming. But Taze came in, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, he still has to, they grow until their 20s.
Exactly. And they got a way bigger foot than I got, so I know they're gonna keep stretching out.
That's funny. So you're the height's coming from your mom's side?
Yeah, her dad was like 6'2", 6'3". So he got some height on that side.
That's amazing. I'm only 5'3", so when I interview, I'm always doing this. So I'm sure
you're the same height as my sister, my oldest sister.
Your oldest sister. And Will, you said you played ball too.
Yes, ma'am. I went to Eastern Oklahoma State and University of St. Louis.
So you learned a lot.
Yep. Dang. Oklahoma All-Stater, man. I had to earn everything I got, man. I was 5'7", 5'8". Just had to earn everything I got. Got told I was too small. All of that stuff my whole life, man. You just got to have that chip on your shoulder and keep grinding.
So what did you learn the most from how you played? What's changed a lot? Like what's
just the physicality of the game and the kids as far as like the how do I say this? Like
Drama?
Like the kids' drive and motivation there is a little bit like one thing these guys like one thing my kids got to see, you know, that I tried to instill in them is like I had a serious injury happen like last April, right? Where I had a bad, then they fixed it, surgery went bad. I had to go to wound care for 5 months. So I just went to therapy for the first time. I just started walking like 2 weeks ago. So, but they took half my calf out and did a gastric flap and a skin graft and all of that stuff, man. My first surgery ever. I've never been hurt. Like I said, I'm 41, my first injury ever. But I wanted my kids to see that you can bounce back from stuff. And that life's gonna throw you a whole bunch of stuff. Like Tay hadn't had me in like 9 months training him. You know, so that's why he's been missing a little more free throws than normal. On that neck but yeah, like so he just got his trainer back, and I just want to show these guys that hey man, stuff is going you got to persevere through some stuff and deal with some adversity sometimes. And that's the biggest thing I see with today's game is like kids, parents, and them quit so easily today, and it wasn't that way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And parents were more supportive of the coaches. Like it's weird. Like I got some parents that complain, and you know, and we all know what it is because you know he's not getting no special treatment. He's just put the work in, so you know he's getting some accolades and different stuff like that. But the whole school is benefiting. Like the news was here today from Channel 8, so every kid benefits that, and I'll help every kid. But it's just like you got to have that discipline and want to, and that's what I see the biggest difference is. Like parents are making excuses for kids instead of holding kids accountable. And that's the biggest difference I see in the game today. That's why the transfer portal is so high. Like he can't, wherever he goes, unless the coach is socking on him, he can't transfer.
Is that the rule?
I mean, that's the rule. Like, why would you pick a school to transfer? Like, I don't get that.
Paying enough or
yeah, exactly. Work for it. That's what he's gonna hear. Work for it. Like, cause he's been taught that these coaches are gonna be the nicest guys in the world when they recruit you. But when they get you on campus, his job's on the line. So yeah, he ain't gonna be Mr. Nice Guy.
So you see a lot of these players, you know, they play for a year or 2 years and they leave school and they go to the NBA, and then the G League doesn't want them, the NBA doesn't want them. They go overseas maybe. I mean, some people have some great overseas careers. But do you see yourself staying in school for a little while, or do you want to be a one and done type of player?
It just depends on like what happens, because you know some coaches they'll just tell you to get out of here. You're not coming back if you're good enough, or like
Calipari, like he did that. He'll tell you, hey man, you ain't coming back. You gone, but you going to the league.
Like go to your coach
his team is so good this year, right?
No.
Yeah, he won't be telling nobody to leave this year. That's for sure.
Or Duke.
Hey, but you know, it's their time though, man. You know, these guys have been big boys so long. Think how many kids that they've not recruited or big boy or last minute. They got to go through it like everybody else sometime. And that's kind of life. Like imagine those recruits they got. They thought they was going to Duke to have this Cameron crazy, be the ACC champs. Now, how many of them are going to stay for work for it? And how many are going to transfer? That's what you're about to find out about Duke.
Yep.
And you get to find out what kind of guy Krzyzewski is when he's not winning. I mean, he's griping at youth reporters. Like, hey, I love Duke, but people tend to show
students at Duke.
Yeah, people tend to show how they really are when you're handling adversity and things ain't going right, which boils back down to what we're talking about with the difference in the game. He's been taught to handle adversity because he's not baby, so that's one of the things that have really helped him be successful.
Well, I see a lot of maturity out of Adante. I'm not just saying that. He's a great interview, and he's very mature. Go ahead, Eric.
So speaking about adversity, I know you obviously were recently offered by Arizona, but have you kind of followed them and kind of how they've done this year, given the challenges they have, no postseason, injuries, eligibility issues with one kid, but have you kind of followed them at all this year?
Yeah, I've watched a few games, because some of their games, haven't been on like the thing or like the TV that I watch. I have ESPN Plus, but sometimes I might fall asleep or have homework.
Yeah, you gotta stay up late to watch them guys.
And you gotta stay up kind of late.
Yeah, fortunately.
It's like 10 over here and they'll be playing and I'll be like, man, I'm about to go to sleep. But they'll be playing and I'll be like, man, it's 8 o'clock over there, but it's 10 this way. So I'll be like, I guess I'll just watch it tomorrow. I'll watch the highlights or something because I'll be tired or something like that. And I just end up going to sleep. But I've got to catch a few games.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell coaches or fans or family or anybody?
I had to
This is
shout
your
out my Uncle
chance.
Danny because he's gonna get mad if I don't. So shout out Uncle Danny.
How about the grandmas?
Yeah, shout out Grandma Lottie.
You better shout out your grandmas.
Grandma Lottie and Grandma Ann. Shout out to them too.
Yeah, he has a pretty good support group, man. Like
Well,
we appreciate you guys, man, for taking y'all's time out
Yeah, he
y'all's way to interview just a coach and a kid from up McAlester, Oklahoma, man. We appreciate it. You guys make us
Hey,
feel
no problem.
big time,
I love
man. LA and Tucson, you guys make us feel big time down here.
Well, I mean,
No problem. Thank you guys for your time
it's
as well.
our privilege. Yeah, and it's our privilege, and I know we'll be seeing you. You know, like I interviewed Cole Anthony when he was before he even had offers, and now he's playing in the NBA. So
Absolutely. And we don't forget faces, man. That's one thing about Oklahoma people, man. We don't forget faces. We real respectable and take care of those that take care of us.
well, if you need any hints on how to commit, and if you want to come on after you commit, I would love to have you back. Even if you get more offers and want to come back, just we'll check in with you. We'd love to do that.
Gotcha.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks.